Hey there, Jesse Gibbs with Century 21 M&M Associates. You know, in the real estate business, we get asked a lot of questions about the whole process. Clients, consumers know that there's a lot that goes into that transaction, and as a real estate professional, we're getting asked those questions all the time. So it's a good thing to have partners that you work with, and sometimes bring those partners into the loop to help answer those questions. So today I'm with Kenny Anderson and Cynthia Brackett, both with Scenic Oaks Funding. Both have been in the lending profession for some time, and you can kind of say your background or how long you've been doing it. But we wanted to do just a quick conversation about lending and mortgage. And, you know, in real estate, we all go out in the public, and the first thing that's asked is, you know, what are rates, or what's going on, or how is it hard to get a mortgage, or whatever. So with that, Cynthia, last week, you know, the feds did a little rate increase or whatever, and sometimes people think, oh, that instantly affects the rate. Not always the case. So with that, kind of explain what went on with that, or did we see a big jump or anything like that, and what was going on?
Well, I feel like we saw a little bit of a jump, and then it kind of went back down again. So today rates actually look a little bit better today than they did last week from when I looked. So I feel like it really hasn't made a huge impact. And I also feel that if you're a brand new buyer, sometimes that little jump in the rate really doesn't affect too much when you're ready to buy a home. So I think rates are still great. I mean, they're at about 4.375. That's fantastic, and I think that it's still a great time to buy.
I think there's a misconception out there, Kenny, and the whole, you know, oh, the feds increased a 0.25% or they increased a 0.5%. That doesn't necessarily mean the rate instantly jumped to half.
Yeah, it's not. You know, it's not directly focused on mortgage rates, which is why I think when everyone was worried the rates were going to go up, and then honestly, like a few days later, they dropped a little bit. So, I mean, you never really know.
So, you know, we're also at what are rates running, you know, kind of today, what were the rates at?
Today the rates were at 4.375, which is lower than last week. We're at 4.5.
So, and a 4% rate is
conventional rates were 4.375. FHA was like 3.875.
So rates are still, you know, when I got in the business, and I've been in for 17 years, which it seems like it's flown by. Watch it, Kenny. But our partners, see, we all get along great. You know, rates were 12 and 15%. Some people sold when they were 18%. So people are always purchasing. So a 4% or a 3%.
It's
outstanding.
Still a great time to buy.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
That's a great rate.
So the other thing, you know, there could be people watching that are kind of watching what's going on, hearing the feds might be increasing. We've heard different things about real estate through, you know, this year, new administration and this stuff. You know, if somebody's watching out there, there's a lot of process that goes into the real estate transaction. But the first step in really purchasing is getting prepared to get approved. You know, you got to know your purchasing power before you really go out there and fall in love with the house. Because if you fall in love with the house for $350,000 and you only get approved for $290,000, that could be a little challenging, and you're gonna be a little disappointed. So if somebody who's watching, you know, Kenny, what's kind of the first steps they should be preparing for?
I think the first steps before you do anything, you need to get pre-approved. I mean, honestly, not only is it going to help you in the long run, but it's going to let you know where exactly you're at. Like you said, you don't want to be looking at a $400,000 house and be like, oh my gosh, I'm in love with this house, and all of a sudden get approved for $200,000 and then just throw it all away and not look anymore. So I think that's the biggest thing, is just to get right away, get pre-approved, know where you're at, and if it's not where you want to be, then at least you'll know how to get to where you want to be, which is a good thing.
So
it's just good preparation. I really feel that it's important. A lot of times a buyer will see a house. That's the first thing they do. They see the house first, and then they contact an agent. And I feel like it's very important that the agent steer them directly to the lender, so the agent doesn't waste time, and so they don't. The home buyer doesn't waste time. So it's very important that they go through the steps.
So with that, Cynthia, if somebody was watching and they're like, okay, I'm ready to do this. If they were going to meet with you next week, what are some things they need to get together to have prepared, so when you sit down, you can actually, you know, run a scenario and put stuff together?
So I really just let everybody know that I'm going to take a full application. I'm going to run credit. We're going to review the whole credit report together. I'm going to go over my rate sheet with them. I'm going to look at a loan estimate with them, and then I let them know the documentation that they need to bring, which is pretty much their tax returns, W-2s, pay stubs, assets.
So with that, you know, I just want to take a few minutes just to kind of talk about, you know, the partners we have out there, talk about what's going on in lending. Don't be shocked or don't be afraid if you hear the rates, or, you know, the feds are doing something to the rates, because they're really not affecting it that much. 4% is still outstanding. I want to thank Kenny and Cynthia for taking the time to discuss with us the process, what's going on. If you're thinking about getting approved, a couple great people to reach out to. Both of them here at the Century 21 M&M 605 Sanford office. Both are characters. So again, thank you for watching. Tune in as we start bringing other people into, other partners we have, title and home warranty, into the process. Because the real estate transaction, it's not just one person. It's not the agent. It's a team of people that help you get into your dream home. So chat with us. Look us up on Facebook. Send us any questions you might have. We're happy to answer them. Have a great night. Thank you.
Nice, guys.